So tell me, how are you feeling about your upcoming teacher interview? Are you a little nervous? Well, that's totally normal. I want you to imagine we're sitting there, just you and I. We're having a cup of coffee and we're talking about the one thing that's on your mind, landing that teaching job. In this episode, I'm going to share the top 5 teaching interview questions that I think you got to master in 2025. We'll go through each one step by step, and I'll also give you 3 powerful techniques that will help you walk into that interview feeling confident, prepared, and ready to shine. Grab your pen, grab your piece of paper, and get ready to take some notes because we're going to start right now. Hey everyone, Dr. Gordon Amerson here, Superintendent of Schools and Gallup Certified Strengths Coach. And on this channel, we leverage my experience from classroom teacher all the way to the office of superintendent to help you go further, faster on your educational journey. If this is your first time with us, thank you for being here. Welcome in, and we hope you get a lot of value out of the content that we provide. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you don't miss any cool updates or any of our latest episodes or content. All right, let's have a quick reality check. Education is evolving faster than ever. Schools are looking for teachers who can adapt to new challenges, teachers that can integrate technology thoughtfully and can create a classroom where every single student feels valued and supported. The questions I'm going to be sharing with you today reflect exactly what I believe that principals and hiring committees are going to be prioritizing in 2025 and beyond. So mastering these questions will set you apart as a candidate that the panel and that principal will likely remember. So we're going to jump right in with the very first high impact question. All right, let's start with a big one. It's timely, it's relevant. And that first question is, how will you plan to integrate technology and AI tools in your classroom while maintaining authentic learning experiences? And this question reflects just how much technology is fueling the evolution and the change that is happening in education. And so I want to help you kind of think about a structured way to answer this critically important question. So first, acknowledge the benefits and the challenges of using technology. I think that's critical because there are benefits, but there certainly are challenges that are out there and they're on the horizon. And these challenges and these things that are on the horizon, principals are thinking about. Current veteran teachers are thinking about. School district administrators are thinking about. How do we deal with this evolution in an effective and carefully, critically thought out way? So for example, AI tools can make things more personalized. They can make learning more personalized, but it's also critical to maintain meaningful human interactions while in the classroom. Then I think it's important that you provide specific examples like using ChatGPT or Claude to spark creative writing while guiding students to refine their drafts collaboratively. Now, this is an area that can be challenging because people worry about plagiarism. They worry about the kids are going to cheat. And the reality is, I think we have to continue to teach technology as a tool for learning. So let's be guides at helping students to unlock the power of these technologies to expand their thinking and expand their learning. And then finally, emphasize that technology is a tool. It's not a replacement for the process of learning, but it is a tool for authentic teaching and learning. And so don't shy away from these questions that are going to be technology driven. They're going to be talking about the challenges, the opportunities that exist with respect to technology, and more specifically, artificial intelligence or AI. Embrace these. You've got to be prepared in 2025 and beyond to answer questions that are focused primarily on technology and focused primarily even more so on AI. And so that's question number 1. All right, so question 2 is so critically important. So think about this. Describe your approach to creating an inclusive classroom environment that supports diverse learning needs. Because schools want to see practical strategies here. We want to know that you can put into play realistic, thoughtful practical strategies in today's context and today's environment. So you might say something like, I use the principles of universal design for learning, UDL, to ensure that every lesson is accessible to all students. For example, I provide materials in multiple formats, audio, visual, hands-on activities, and adjust assessments to reflect different strengths of my scholars. Then I think it would be critically important that you emphasize your commitment to cultural competency. So to expand on that, you also make it a point to celebrate your students' cultures and create opportunities for them to share their unique perspectives. And so this type of a response, taking both of those angles, gives you the ability to show how thoughtful you are, but also how intentional you will be in creating that type of an environment, right? So you want to be practical in the types of strategy you'll use, but you want to have that heart and that caring, nurturing spirit for celebrating the uniqueness of every one of your students and valuing their perspectives. And this is how you really get at a very, very strong response to an important question like this. And that's question number 2. All right, let's move to question number 3. And question number 3 is very relevant in this post-pandemic world that we're still feeling the effects and the impacts of. So question number 3 is, how would you handle a situation where students are struggling with social emotional challenges while keeping up with the academic rigorous requirements and expectations that we must have for them? So I think you have to start with addressing the reality, because in today's classrooms, balancing emotional well-being with academic rigorous standards is going to be and will continue to be an ongoing challenge. But I also think you have to offer specific strategies, like implementing morning check-ins. Let's see how our students are doing first thing when they come in. Having mindfulness activities to create a safe space for students to feel that they can share how they're feeling, the challenges that they're facing. Explain how you'd also integrate social emotional learning into your lessons. So for example, teaching empathy through group projects and reflective activities, right? Helping students to critically unpack some of those challenges, but also learning to interact with each other and learning the shared experiences that they have with each other, because many of our students are facing similar challenges. And so if we can create that space where students can talk and be reflective and be thoughtful and be empathetic of one another, we're creating a really great environment. And finally, I think it's critically important that you also discuss how you monitor both academic and emotional progress using assessments and regular communication with families, keeping parents and our guardians in the loop of what's happening with their students, how they're feeling, how they're progressing, how they're doing. Being that critical communicator is also a highly valuable skill that all principals are looking for in teachers and professional educators. Folks who are going to be working with and around students, you have to be effective communicators with parents and community members. And that is question number 3. So as we move into question number 4 is all about, in my opinion, flexibility. And I want you thinking about the concept of flexibility as you think about and unpack this question. So question number 4 is, tell me about a time that you had to adapt your teaching methods quickly to meet an unexpected challenge. So this is your chance to shine with a personal story. Now, if you have spent any time on my channel and the content that I talk about frequently, I talk about the power of telling stories. It's how we connect as human beings. It's how we connect with other people, is through the power of story. And so this is the type of question that will help you showcase your ability to tell a story and make that authentic connection with the principal or the committee or the panel. So for example, during the pandemic, you transitioned your lessons to hybrid format almost overnight, because that is literally what had to happen. I remember going back March 13th, 2020. We were going to have to close schools, but we needed to make sure that teaching and learning still happened. And so almost overnight, we went from meeting students in our classrooms day after day to being on Zoom, being remote, sending home packets, whatever that mode was, but we had to change on a dime. And so how did you make that change? How were you adaptable? How were you flexible? And in this example, you share that you quickly learned how to use tools like Google Classroom, tools like Zoom to keep students engaged and keep your instruction highly interactive. And then you also adapted your teaching by creating more asynchronous activities for students who couldn't attend those live sessions because there were a lot of things going on. There were a lot of challenges. And so our ability to be flexible and meet the synchronous as well as the asynchronous needs of students was critically important. And so I think to really amplify your response here, you should highlight your problem-solving skills and the positive outcomes, like, in fact, that we improved our tech skills and we created much stronger relationships with our students during that unprecedented time. And so thinking about how you incorporate all those pieces, but focusing on the concept of flexibility, I think it's going to be the best pathway to really tackle that type of a question about being able to adapt and change your teaching methods quickly. And that is question number 4. And question number 5. So question number 5, let's talk about families. How do you plan to engage families and build strong homeschool partnerships in today's diverse communities? This is a critically important question. And I think that to answer this question effectively, you want to start to immediately mention multiple communication channels. You use newsletters, emails. You can use apps like Classroom Dojo, right? But then discuss also issues around cultural sensitivity, that you take the time to understand each of your family's backgrounds and adapt your communications to fit their needs. The most important thing that can happen when you're communicating with families is that they actually digest the communication you're providing. So finding the most effective and the most connective ways to communicate is going to be an important skill for you to master as a classroom teacher. Finally, I think you should also share a creative solution, like hosting virtual coffee chats or recording a classroom message for the busy families who can't attend traditional events that you may have, like open house or back to school night, whatever the case may be. But at the core, you want to show that you're proactive and you're also adaptable. Our families are busy. You're busy. We as educators are always busy. There's lots of things going on. So finding ways to leverage effective communication, going back to previous question number 1 on AI, how do we streamline some of this and how do we leverage technology to be that much more effective in communicating? So there are some opportunities for you to blend and think about how you connect question number 1 in this episode as well as question number 5 in this episode as well. So 5 questions, critically important. I think that these are the 5 questions you got to master in 2025. I think these are the questions that are going to be front and center for many, many principals as they think about hiring decisions in this spring, into the summer, and thinking about going into the school year 2025, 2026. These are the types of questions that are at the top of mind for many, many principals. But it's not lost on me just how nerve-wracking and how anxiety-driving the process of an interview can be. And so I want to spend also some time with you in this episode, giving you some tips, giving you some strategies, some high-impact confidence boosters, some high-impact interview strategies that will amplify your ability to be a great candidate. So now that we've got the questions down, let's build your confidence, because interviews, obviously, they can and always will be somewhat intimidating, but the 3 techniques I'm going to give you right now will help you feel prepared, but also give you a sense of feeling like you're in control of a process that can feel very, very, very nerve-wracking. So let's start with strategy number one. I call it the mirror method. So my recommendation is to spend 2 to 3 minutes practicing your answers in front of a mirror. See how you're projecting. See how you're coming off. Look at your nonverbals. Now, I know it can be hard to look at yourself in the mirror, but practice, because the more comfortable you get with seeing how you communicate, the more comfortable and confident you're going to be when you project that, not being able to see yourself, but how you're projecting it to others as well. So watch for those nonverbal cues. Are you smiling? Are you enjoying the moment? Consciously projecting a smile is important. Are you making good, solid eye contact? Better yet, go one step further, not just on the mirror, but record yourself on your phone, right? And then watch it back. And then imagine yourself speaking to your future students' parents. This will help you fine-tune your tone. This will help you build your confidence. This will help you execute really strong communication, right? So get comfortable. The mirror strategy, recording on a phone, but making sure that you are paying attention to all those things that will help you showcase your best form of communication. The style, the tone, the tenor that you're looking for. You get that by checking it in the mirror, but you also get it by recording it on a phone so you can see it and really critically watch it back. So the mirror strategy is strategy number. Let's talk about strategy number 2, the story bank strategy. So create a story bank of about 5 to 7 different classroom teaching experiences, different things that you've seen, different things that you've done. Write them down, put them in your notes app, and practice adapting them to different questions. How you can integrate it into a technology question, how you can integrate it into an inclusive classroom question, how you can incorporate a teaching one of these stories into communicating with families type of question. But having this story bank and adapting it to different questions will teach you to be able to be dynamic and versatile in your responses. Be sure to include measurable results. Like after implementing a new reading strategy, student scores improved by 10%, 20%, but having measurables, those actual data points that people tend to focus on, they tend to lock into, having measurable results will be really, really important. Review the stories while you're waiting for your interview. Those little tidbits, those little anecdotes will come in and they'll be powerful. They'll be like your secret weapon when you have them ready to go. Right? So the story bank strategy is strategy number 2. All right, let's talk about strategy number 3 to boost your confidence. The power pose technique. All right. I know it sounds a little corny. Maybe it sounds a little cheesy. Just hang with me. But I will tell you that science does back this up. Power poses, they work. So find a private spot and take about 10 minutes before your interview. Stand tall, hands on your hips, and just breathe deeply in your nose and out your mouth. And help that power pose in that position and getting that oxygen into your chest and into your lungs and into your brain, getting that oxygen into your brain will replenish you, it will rejuvenate you, and it will ground you. And it will help you walk into the interview confident, with that confident body language. Don't take this for granted. The power pose is not just about looking cheesy and standing tall like Superman, but the power pose is all about getting that oxygen flowing through your body, but also putting yourself in a space where you are ready to project confidence. And the best thing you can do is project confidence in your interview. Project confidence, not conceitedness. There's a difference. Finding that healthy balance of showing that you're confident, but you're not verbose or over the top, but finding that and using the power pose is a great strategy that can ground you in that and give you that level of confidence. So those are 3 strategies. And I would ask you to take those strategies and practice them. Practice them, put them into practice for yourself, because it's going to be critically important to helping to build your skills, your knowledge, and your confidence. And there you have it. 5 impactful teacher interview questions that I think you got to master in 2025. And I also wanted to give you those 3 confidence boosters that I think will help you shine in your next interview. So which of the questions felt most challenging to you? Share that with us in the comments below. And so that way the community can give you some feedback, can give you some insights. I can give you some feedback. I can give you some insights. And if you want to get more information and more strategies around these similar topics, check out this next video. That's going to continue to build on your skills and your knowledge and your capacity. But also, if you found this useful, if you found this helpful, if you've made it to this point in the video, give us a thumbs up. Like the video, share it with a friend, share it with 10 friends, subscribe to the channel. We're on a mission to grow this channel to 10,000 educators, leaders, people who care deeply about education, deeply about kids, and wanting to grow their skills, their knowledge, as well as growing your skills and your knowledge as an educator. Until we see you on our next episode, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll see you on our next one. Be well, everyone. Thanks.